Top news. Women's college basketball games today. Schedule, times, how to watch for January 31st. Buffalo at Akron, 12 p.m., ESPN+. Vermont at NJIT, 12 p.m., ESPN+. Winthrop at Radford, 12 p.m., ESPN+. Ohio at Miami, OH, 1 p.m., ESPN+. Bryant at New Hampshire, 1 p.m., ESPN+. UMass Lowell at Maine, 1 p.m., ESPN+. South Alabama at James Madison, 1 p.m., ESPN+. Louisiana at Marshall, 1 p.m., ESPN+. Cleveland State at Northern Kentucky, 1 p.m., ESPN+. Western Kentucky at Middle Tennessee, 1 p.m., ESPN+. Lindenwood at Morehead State, 1 p.m., ESPN+. St. Francis U at New Haven, 1 p.m. St. John's at Providence, 1 p.m., ESPN+. Norfolk State at Howard, 1 p.m., ESPN+. Bethune-Cookman at Alabama State, 1 p.m. Chicago State at Masseyhust, 1 p.m. Western Michigan at Eastern Michigan, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Albany at UMBC, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Arkansas State at Georgia Southern, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Bellarmine at West Georgia, 2 p.m., ESPN+. North Florida at Lipscomb, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Stetson at Central Arkansas, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Texas State at Georgia State, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Youngstown State at Oakland, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Wagner at FDU, 2 p.m. South Dakota State at South Dakota, 2 p.m. Oral Roberts at North Dakota State, 2 p.m. Denver at North Dakota, 2 p.m. Kansas City at Omaha, 2 p.m. Southeast Missouri State at Eastern Illinois, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Little Rock at Tennessee Tech, 2 p.m., ESPN+. UT Martin at Western Illinois, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Central Connecticut State at LIU, 2 p.m. Iona at Manhattan, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Niagara at Marist, 2 p.m., ESPN+. St. Peter's at Mount St. Mary's, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Merrimack at Quinnipiac, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Fairfield at Sacred Heart, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Canisius at Siena, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Lemoyne at Stonehill, 2 p.m. DePaul at Villanova, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Houston Christian at Texas A&M Corpus Christi, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Morgan State at Coppin State, 2 p.m., ESPN+. UT Rio Grande Valley at UIW, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Rice at UTSA, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Bucknell at Boston University, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Lehigh at Colgate, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Army West Point at Holy Cross, 2 p.m., ESPN+. La Salle at Duquesne, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Rhode Island at Fordham, 2 p.m., ESPN+. Grambling State at Jackson State, 2 p.m. Maryland Eastern Shore at Delaware State, 2 p.m., ESPN+. American University at Lafayette, 2 p.m., ESPN+. UAPB at Mississippi Valley State, 2 p.m. Southern University at Alcorn State, 2 p.m. Central Michigan at Northern Illinois, 3 p.m., ESPN+. Jacksonville at Austin Peay, 3 p.m., ESPN+. Wright State at Milwaukee, 3 p.m., ESPN+. Jacksonville State at Louisiana Tech, 3 p.m., ESPN+. Kennesaw State at Sam Houston, 3 p.m., ESPN+. Northwestern State at New Orleans, 3 p.m., ESPN+. Texas Southern at Prairie View A&M, 3 p.m. Southeastern Louisiana at Stephen F. Austin, 3 p.m., ESPN+. UCF at Iowa State, 3 p.m., ESPN+. UAB at Wichita State, 3 p.m., ESPN+. Florida Atlantic at North Texas, 3 p.m., ESPN+. Memphis at Tulsa, 3 p.m., ESPN+. St. Bonaventure at Loyola Chicago, 3 p.m., ESPN+. St. Louis at George Mason, 3 p.m., ESPN+. Florida A&M at Alabama A&M, 3 p.m. Wyoming at Grand Canyon, 3 p.m. Valparaiso at UIC, 3 p.m., ESPN+. Utah State at New Mexico, 3 p.m. Colorado State at UNLV, 3 p.m., Fox Sports 1. Nichols at East Texas A&M, 3:30 p.m., ESPN+. Abilene Christian at Southern Utah, 4 p.m., ESPN+. Tarleton State at Utah Tech, 4 p.m., ESPN+. UT Arlington at California Baptist, 4 p.m., ESPN+. New Mexico State at UTEP, 4 p.m., ESPN+. Weber State at Idaho State, 4 p.m., ESPN+. Sacramento State at Montana, 4 p.m., ESPN+. Portland State at Montana State, 4 p.m., ESPN+. McNeese State at Lamar, 4 p.m., ESPN+. Navy at Loyola, Maryland, 4 p.m., ESPN+. Utah at BYU, 4 p.m., ESPN+. San Francisco at Oregon State, 4 p.m., ESPN+. Pepperdine at Santa Clara, 4 p.m., ESPN+. San Jose State at Boise State, 4 p.m. Nevada at San Diego State, 4 p.m. Bowling Green at Toledo, 5 p.m., ESPN+. UC Santa Barbara at Cal State Fullerton, 5 p.m., ESPN+. UC Riverside at Cal Poly, 5 p.m., ESPN+. Bakersfield at UC Davis, 5 p.m., ESPN+. Northern Colorado at Eastern Washington, 5 p.m., ESPN+. Columbia at Penn, 5 p.m., ESPN+. Cornell at Princeton, 5 p.m., ESPN+. Oregon at Maryland, 5 p.m., Big Ten Network. Northern Arizona at Idaho, 5 p.m., ESPN+. Seattle at Loyola Marymount, 5 p.m., ESPN+. Yale at Dartmouth, 5 p.m., ESPN+.